Hi there. Hi babies. Hi cutie pies. What's up? Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. This is a general message, so take what resonates and leave the rest. As you know, use your own intuition, use your own discernment, and let's get into it. Love you. All right, so the song I got on shuffle is Kiss from a Rose, but it was the Jairus Johnson version. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name right. So it's like a little more metal, like, I don't know, it kind of gave like hair metal ballad vibes. So it's the first time I've heard that, because I've heard the Seal version, but that was the first time I've heard that cover. So yeah, let's get into it. Baby! There used to be a graying tower, alone on the sea, and you became the light on the dark side of me. Love reminded a drug that's the high and not the pill. But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the gray. Oh, the more I get of you, stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the gray. Baby! I don't know the song that well to belt it out to you, but there is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. Baby! To me, you're like a growing addiction that I can't deny. Won't you tell me, is that healthy, baby? But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? I've been kissed by a rose on the gray. And if I should fall, will it all go away? Been kissed by a rose on the gray, and I've been kissed by the rose on the gray. Okay, what I'm getting from this message here is like, you're viewed as a pure being, you know, and especially with this song, because I get that, but when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen. And especially because it says, love reminded a drug that's the high and not the pill. Like people that might be with a lot of addictions, a lot of hurt, trauma, they come in contact with you and you just shine a light on them, and like you're like this beam of light and you're healing. I'm also getting, if someone like you cut them out or something when they're doing the drugs or whatever to try to like escape, like you're all that they can think about. And it might just, and it doesn't, I'm not getting like it has to be romantic. It could just be like friendships, family members, all that stuff. Like you cut them off and like they didn't realize like what a light you were in their life. Like they feel the void. They feel like how it says on the gray, like, you know, the color is leached out of their life, the warmth, the comfort. They didn't realize how much you like brought to their lives. And, you know, so while you may have just like cut them out because of like their addictions and stuff like that, or you know, you pulled back your energy because of abuse or whatever transpired, but they're now like feeling that lack, that like void. And I'm also getting just now is that maybe whoever you cut out or, you know, had to walk away from because of whatever was happening, they developed addictions because you were gone. Like your energy was such so intoxicating, because it says there is no There is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. To me, you're like a growing addiction that I can't deny. Won't you tell me, is this healthy, baby? So like, they only saw you in this certain way. And of course, you know, it's always, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Like, so they're realizing like what you brought to their life, and like how you affected them, like what you brought into their environment, and how you affected them so greatly. And they're feeling the void of that, and now filling the void with addictions and such things like that. I've been kissed on the rose. I've been kissed by a rose on the gray. I've been kissed by a rose on the gray. And if I should fall, will it all go away? Been kissed by a rose on the gray. I'm just seeing if there's anything more. I'm also getting, so if they're like doing drugs, or, you know, indulging in their addictions of whatever it is, sex, drugs, destructive patterns, you know, binge eating, whatever. It could honestly be just like TV and stuff like that, whatever. That's all they can still think about. And they feel this, like, because it says you remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. So, you know, thinking about you, because they want to take themselves back to those memories of like when things were good, and you like had good times together. They experienced your energy and you gave it so willingly, so like flowed with it. Like you opened yourself to them and like allowed them in. So they go back to that to try to like get a taste of it again. And I'm getting that when they're using these drugs and like, or, you know, whatever addictions they're indulging in, they feel like guilt, because like you're, you know, a kiss from a rose on the gray, like you touched their lives, and you probably like helped them stay away from those addictions just by, you know, because they were addicted to your energy. They, you know, you were the other addiction. So that kept them away from all the gross stuff, the extra bad stuff. But like, they didn't realize they were codependent on your energy. They didn't realize that that's what they were, why their life was so good. They weren't realizing that. And they're feeling like shame, because I have a feeling, you know, they can only use these addictions to stay away, like push those feelings, those thoughts, those memories back. And then, you know, they're totally schmammered or whatever, like totally like just, you know, binge watched 12 hours of Netflix, whatever. That can only distract you for so long. And then, you know, you creep back into their mind and they're like looking at what they've done and they're like shameful. They're feeling a lot of shame. They're feeling a lot of regret. And because it says like, but did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? So while they're indulging in this stuff, you know, they're realizing whether they know it or not, they know they're part of the problem, why you pulled your energy, your light away, and why you don't indulge with them anymore. They may not do enough self-reflection to like fully understand, but they know now that that you were part of like why their life was good, why things were better, and they weren't indulging so deeply into these self-destructive behaviors. And now they're like really experiencing like the void of like, you know, they have no color to their life. It's just black and white and gray. They don't feel any warmth. It's cold, and there's nothing to really like, they were so dependent on how much light you brought to them that they don't know how to create their own happiness. They don't know how to create their own joy, or like seek things out to like stir up their passions, because they were so dependent and addicted to your energy. And they didn't know, I'm assuming, they didn't know that they were codependent on you like that. It was just there was some, because they don't self-reflect, especially if they're doing like things like addictions and stuff. It's because they're running away from the hurt, trauma, and all of this. I guess we can get into the cards here. But I'm also getting, this could just be how people experience you in general. Like, say, like you're beginning to meet new people, like you're creating your new community, and this is how they view you, as like, because it's not just these people that are in regret and that you've walked away from. It's like these people are like, damn, that's like a breath of fresh air. You're invigorating. You bring this great 11:11 on the clock when I just looked. You bring this great energy, this light, this the sun parting through the clouds on a stormy day, like bringing like that beam of light and clearing the fog away. Like you have this energy that does that, and they experience that from you, and they think you're very pure. Oh, I didn't read that part. Yeah, they think they feel you as very pure and like healing and illuminating. So you might be very good at like pointing things out, and they're like, oh wow, that's a good idea, or like, I'm glad you pointed that out. Like you're very you bring a new creative perspective to things, like whether it's like work or whatever. This is how they observe you and like experience you. I did see here, baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose. Oh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels. Yeah, now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the gray. Yes, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the gray. And the more I get of you, the stranger it feels. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the gray. So I'm seeing this as like you pulling your energy away from these people, stepping out, taking these leaps of faith to cut people out, helped you bloom as a person, blossom as a person, because your light wasn't being dimmed anymore by these insecure people, controlling people, just low vibrational people. Whatever you surround yourself with is going to tamper with your energy a little bit, at least. Obviously, like you have to learn how to hold that frequency, but if you weren't aware of it before, like that needed to happen for you to raise in vibration. And now that you're away from that and you took this leap of faith and that was like part of your ascension, they're seeing you bloom and blossom, and people are seeing it. That's why you're attracting new people, all of this, because I lost my train of thought. What the hell? That's annoying. Oh yeah, okay. Ooh, okay, now I understand. So this is like a warning, like this person might try to yoink, take away your shine. However, because they're so like spiraling into their addictions and, back into these lower vibrations, that because I did, before I came on, I did kind of get a vibe that somebody's going to be trying to spin the block. As always, somebody's going to see you blooming and blossoming and becoming better. And, that's going to attract everything, light and dark. You're going to attract more of yourself, more of what matches you, but also like more of the leeches and all of that. So it's just being mindful of like, if this person, these people come back, like realize why they're coming back. Oh, suddenly my life is good, so you want to come swoop in on what's happening. Like you want to be part of my good energy, my success, whatever it is. So just being aware of that, because I did get that download right before I hit record and I forgot to mention it. So yeah, they're seeing you bloom and blossom, and they're like, that might even be causing them to spiral even more, because whether they know it or not, there's this underlying understanding, or they can't ignore the fact that they were the common denominator of like the problem. You know, they were the problem. They were the damp, you know, it's always goes both ways. But I will say that, you know, they were like the dampening. They were the dark. They were the lack, the coldness, the gray, the no color, no vibrancy. They were that energy. And they're seeing that because while you stepped away, you've gotten better, and they've fallen back and spiraled into these addictions. Yes. Okay. So we did get the Ace of Pentacles here. It's a lost opportunity. Especially with it being like a tree like that. I'm seeing that as like, they're seeing now that that could have been like, you know, you could have been part of the family tree. You could have been part of like the legacy. They could have been part of it. But, you know, they had to be on demon time. They had to be on this lower vibrational bullshit where I'm seeing, I didn't realize that there's a red butterfly on there. So like be 11:11 on my clock here. They chose, especially since it's a red butterfly, they chose not to transform themselves and become more secure in themselves, because that's like root chakra. So that's like security, safety, you know, like the hierarchy of needs, what's it, Maslow or whatever the fuck his name is. They chose, with, especially since the butterfly has transformation, you know, from a caterpillar to a butterfly, they chose not to transform and become a more secure person and, you know, find this strength within themselves. They just chose to like, they probably had no idea they were doing this, but they were living off your energy. Some may actually have known, and they were like, in just straight up purposely stealing your energy and like manifesting off of it and all of that. But I'm getting, they may have not even known. I gotta move my chair. My ass is going numb. Here we go. Oh, so much better. Okay, so what I'm getting from that is like, they were so stagnant. It's like, you know, sitting on the toilet too long. Your legs go numb. They were so stagnant and chose to like sit on the toilet too long in their bullshit and the filth, that their legs went numb, and so they couldn't even like catch up to you energetically. And this is like why they fell back and fell so hard down after you pulled your energy back, because, you know, they were so stagnant that they didn't know how to even, like, their body, you know, I'm seeing this, their energetic body didn't even know how to like get that momentum going. Their mind didn't know how to, like, their free will, all of that, like, it was just like, well, we haven't done this before. And, you know, that when you stand up off the toilet for sitting too long, like your legs are all tingly, you got the pins and needles, feel it hurts. Like, that's what it was like if they tried to like, because you surpass them so much with your growth. It was like painful because you were so bright and confident and, you know, illuminating their stuff, because, you know, when you're in that energy, you shine, you know, when you're confident in yourself and express yourself and, you know, use your voice and all of that confidently, that exposes their insecurities highly, greatly, a lot, like, and just to where it hurt them. It was so uncomfortable, that uncomfortable like numb leg feeling of like you can't even like put your feet on the ground because it hurts so bad. Yeah, and interesting that I bring that up because the next card is the Eight of Wands. They were just stuck. There was no movement. And it's highlighting more too that it's, they may not want to see it, but it's like it's apparent, there's no denying that you're at a different level. You're at a completely, you're in a different building. You know, it's like you're not even, they can't even use the elevator in the building that they're in to catch up to you. They gotta use that elevator, go to some other place, you know, go down the stairs, you know, do all these things to get to the next level that you're on. You've surpassed them so much because they chose to stay in this stagnant energy. And they're still in this. And it's even more painful. And that might have been why they spiraled, because it's apparent that, you know, y'all aren't even on the same level anymore. Not even close to where they can't just, you know, get their Bambi legs, their little baby deer legs. They can't get that to work fast enough to catch up to you. And that might be why they're spiraling. I'm also, jeez. Oh, they fumbled the bag. Oh, with me dropping these over and over again. They're feeling and seeing that they fumbled the bag. They're that they mishandled the situation. And I keep getting this, like, whether they know it or not, it's like it's a deep knowing. It's like say you have a friend, and I'm sure we've all experienced this, where that you've had like such a good history with, like a long history, I should say, and you finally grow, you're getting into your growth and you're realizing this person has not been good for me. And like you start, like, since you've done the work and like worked with this like ancestral trauma stuff and like, you know, broke a lot of parental wounding and stuff like that, and you start seeing things more clearly, and you're like reflecting back on this friendship that you've had for years and years and years, and you're like, oh, that was never good for me. And you're like, oh, I don't want to end this friendship because it's been so long. So it's like they have that knowing, but they don't want to see it. They don't want to see that there's no catching up to you unless like they do a bunch of crazy ass work, but there's such a gap that it's impossible. I'm seeing it as like drag racing, like it's like a, oh my god, now I can't remember the type of vehicle, Top Fuel, you know, like the insane engines that are just like, you know, you get one race out of them and then they break down because they're so freaking fast and like have so much horsepower, and like they're so loud and intense that like you can't breathe right when you're around them because they're just so intense. And then it'd be like a Top Fuel car. I want to say that, I'm hoping I'm right about that, versus like a, you know, an everyday gasser, you know, like just a four banger like Honda Accord, like nothing fancy on it. Like they're seeing that you're just this high performance machine. Like you've gapped them so far, and it's obvious like where you're at and where they're at. Like it would be like both of y'all lining up to the start line, and you know everyone is betting on the Top Fuel car because you know it's apparent what's going to happen. The only thing that would, you know, stir the pot or like change the like the outcome of that race is if it broke down at the start line. Like say you fell back horribly, like the mechanic didn't do the job, you know, like they didn't get anything ready, like, but we're all betting on that Top Fuel car because we know like, okay, 1,000 horsepower versus 200, you know, that's like being generous. I doubt that anyone has that. We'll say 150. We'll say 150, okay? So like, it's apparent, like, and it's glaringly obvious where they're at in their journey and where you are at. And that might be why they're, you know, using all these substances to just like not look in the mirror and not self-reflect and work through this stuff, because there's just so much work to be done, and it's overwhelming and painful, because it's almost like how, like, I don't know, for some reason I got this, like after a surgery, you know, it's like painful to heal, because you got a cut and it hurts. Or like when you get like road rash, it's that shallow cut, that scrape, but it's the most painful, because while it's healing, you're like, I can't move because it hurts so bad. And you're like, why does this even hurt? It's like not even that deep, but it's like painful as it's healing. They're experiencing that pain so great, and it's so raw. Your vibration, your frequency, your light is exposing all of that and just like, you know, peeling that layer off of them. And they're trying to avoid feeling that pain. Just as like we've all been there, but it's just such an extreme feeling because of like where you're at, and like how, because they had experienced your energy, they had experienced being around you, and were able to cloak themselves in your energy and like siphon it and all of that stuff. And now they're like, it's pulled from them, and they're just experiencing this like pain, that raw feeling, because you highlighted what there's no denying, there's no guessing what happened or what's occurring. It's like you've done the growth, you're blossoming and blooming and becoming lighter and, you know, even more clear without like these distortion patterns and family traumas and stuff like that. You're releasing all that, because we have the trauma bond card in reverse. You're releasing all of that, and it's clear and apparent what it is. And that's super painful, because there's no denying with this Two of Swords in reverse, there's no denying. This is my card of like when the blindfold falls off, especially if it's in reverse. I'm also seeing, because it's like the physical realm here and the spiritual realm there, it's almost like their higher self is starting, or their spirit team is like making, like turning their head and being like, look at this. This is what you need to follow. It's almost like their spirit team wants like you to be a guide, or like a field map of like how to raise in vibration. They want them to look at you that way. But it hurts even more, because it's like you're the root of their pain, according to them. You know, that's what they're experiencing. You're the root of their pain, but yet their spirit team wants them to wants that person or people to follow what you've done to raise in vibration. Be like, this is how you heal yourself. Follow that. So it's like they can't get it out, because whether it's, you know, just like them thinking and feeling the shame of like what transpired between you two, or just feeling, you know, the void of your presence, but also their spirit team is on their ass and being like, that is what you follow right over there. That is what you listen to. Interesting that I pointed with my chin and my nose. So someone's ancestor probably did that, like the over there. It's just glaringly obvious. What I'm seeing here is the Ace of Swords in reverse. So I'm seeing that two ways, or a couple ways, I should say. They're seeing how they cut you and hurt you, whether they know it or not. I have a feeling that your spirit team and their spirit team like gives them dreams of like how they've hurt you, or just like these intrusive thoughts. Well, to them it's intrusive, but these intrusive thoughts and memories of like where they could have been better and what they should have done. Like this feeling of like what actually happened, what they did, how they handled the situation, and then what they should have done. And they're starting to like get this understanding, and they're feeling like the pain of that and like, wow, I really hurt this person. Because the Ace of Swords, like, you know, there's two sides to a sword. You know, there's, you know, it could be good or bad. And especially since it's in reverse, like it's painful. It's like cutting someone down. I'm also seeing that they didn't see the truth in you. They didn't see who you were wholly, as a whole, I should say. Holy. You're holy. That's what you are. You are holy. Like the whole, you have the Holy Spirit in you, the Holy Ghost in you. They didn't see the full truth, the full, I'm gonna move this a little bit because I feel like I'm weird at the side. They didn't see the full picture of you, all the parts, all the moving, but coming back to, you know, you're the top fuel car, the race drag car, they didn't see all of the little parts and engineering and planning and the team that had to build this car and the dyno sheets, the tuning, the wrenching on it, the perfect mix of fuel, like they didn't see all these little pieces and moving parts of you. They didn't see that. They didn't see your truth. Because we also have the next song that came on shuffle, which is interesting that I went this far before I brought it up, is Drop the World by Lil Wayne and Eminem. Lil Wayne, I should say. Little Wayne. You know that Lil Wayne? Lil Wayne and Eminem. Okay, Drop the World. I got ice in my veins, blood in my eyes, hate in my heart, love in my mind. See, that dichotomy. They didn't see that. All they saw was the kiss from a rose, your innocence. They may have thought you were gullible or easy to manipulate. I've seen nights full of pain, days of the same. You keep the sunshine, save me the rain. Oh, okay. So like you're not just a sunny day person. Like they didn't see that. They just thought, God, I keep burping, excuse me. So there's a lot of, I'm channeling pretty good here. I see nights full of pain, days of the same. They didn't know your past. And if they did, they didn't comprehend because it may be like the way you talk about it, or like that you're bubbly, or that you're still a kind person without being calloused and hurtful, and you don't manipulate people. They just thought that maybe you were like dumb. you know, not to like, they just thought that. They thought that you were, as hilarious as it is, that, you know, they were above you intellectually, or that they socially understood things better than you. That's what I'm getting, is because like, but they didn't see the work you've done. They didn't see all the little parts of yourself that, you know, I've seen nights full of pain, days full of the same. They didn't see that, and that you're still like this loving, kind, honest, humble person. They just thought you were like, I don't know, like dumb, or like, well, they don't think about, like, I'm just getting like socially inept. Like that's what they thought. As mean as it sounds, that's what I'm getting here. They thought that about you. You keep the sunshine, save me the rain. I search but never find, hurt but never cry. I work and forever try, but I'm cursed, so never mind. And it's worse, but better times seem further and beyond. The top gets higher the more that I climb. The spot gets smaller and I get bigger. Trying to get into where I fit in, no room for a homie. But soon, for a homie, it be on, motherfucker. Cause all this bullshit, it made me strong, motherfucker. They didn't see that part of you. They didn't see that your constant struggle. They didn't know that you had all fucking odds against you. They didn't see that truth. They didn't see the truth of it. They chose not to. They just saw, because especially with this light being on the top of the card, they only saw like you and your light energy, you in this like socially inept, like you didn't learn your lesson or whatever, like, or, you know, if you spoke about your past, you were like nonchalant about it. So they thought like maybe you were lying, or that you like were just like ditzy and didn't like fully take in from that experience, like that you need to be calloused and not let people in. Like they thought that that was the smarter way to deal with things. So, but that's all they saw was this lighter energy. They didn't see the dark stuff that you experienced. They didn't put that sword. I'm seeing that like them not penetrating their sword, so their mind, their understanding to that your whole depth. They chose not to see that. Cause all this bullshit, it made me strong, motherfucker. So I picked the world up and I'm gonna drop it on your fucking head. Bitch, I'm gonna pick the world up and I'm gonna drop it on your fucking head. Yeah, and I could die now. Rebirth, motherfucker. They didn't see that part of you. They didn't see, because I'm looking now here. We have do not fear the unknown in reverse. And I'm seeing that was how she's like in this like dark clothing, and there's just like a hint of light touching her hand, that gold light. They didn't know, so it's only like they only saw this like tiny illuminated part of you that, you know, is, I'm just seeing it as like, oh well, this person didn't have it as hard as me or whatever, and or they're just not as smart as me socially, and they don't know how to like scan people like me. They don't know people like I do. But they only saw this tiny illuminated part of you. And they also didn't know that you have like no fear when it comes to anything anymore, because of all this shit you've overcame. You're like, I've had all odds against me. The top of the top of the mountain kept getting higher and higher as I was climbing. You know, there was only one exit, and it kept getting smaller and I kept getting bigger. Like it was just like all odds against me. I feel like I couldn't get out, and I did. So I don't have any motherfucking fear, bitch. And it says, yeah, and I could die now. Rebirth, motherfucker. Like you have no fear when it comes to like the dark night of the soul, looking at yourself and going into the unknown of your deep, dark depths. And we have focus, then act. I'm seeing like the picture here is you with her sword being light and like that lightning kind of thing. You used all of your dark, like you did what you were supposed to do by transmuting your past and all the dark stuff and transmuted it into light, as you should, instead of using it to become more calloused and hurt people because you've been hurt. You chose a different path than them, and they didn't know that that was a path. They didn't know that was a way to experience things. They just thought you were dumb, socially inept, whatever kind of mean thoughts they had about you. That's all they could think of because that's all they know. They didn't know there was another path. Hop up in my spaceship and leave Earth. Motherfucker, I'm gone. And I know what they don't want to tell you. Just hope you're heaven sent and you're hell proof. I know what they don't want to tell you. Just hope you are heaven sent and hell proof. Like, so this is you being through hell and heaven, like all of this. You have experienced both sides, all sides of it. And you know when and where and in what way to act out of you know, all sides of yourself. You know when to pick, okay, I need to be in this energy now. You've learned how to do that because with that, do not fear the unknown. You're not afraid of failure because you've literally experienced it in all possible ways. You've had all odds against you and you still powered through that. I walk up in the world and cut the lights off, and confidence is a stain they can't wipe off. So they thought they took your, because we have know you belong. And I'm also seeing that focus and act card is like your ability to use that your mind and, you know, all of your experiences as a way to cut through like the darkness and like come to the truth, especially within yourself. Like you can sit and wallow in your yucky feelings and then just be like, okay, I'm doing too much right now. What I need to do is be like, okay, how can I not do this again? How can I heal this part of myself? Oh, I need to let this go. Okay, it's just that easy. Now I gotta do it. And then I gotta keep practicing. I gotta keep doing it. And you have that different mentality about it. And it says, and confidence is a stain they can't wipe off. My word is my pride. So but wisdom is bleak, and that's a word from the wise. You know that you don't know everything. Know you belong. How funny. You have that confidence of like, I'm where I'm at. I'm where I need to be right now. And you are okay with looking in the mirror and being like, this is where I'm at energetically. This is where I'm at emotionally. I obviously I don't know everything. Wisdom is bleak, and that's a word from the wise. I don't know everything, and I have to keep growing. There's no end in sight of my growth, and I stay humble in that. Yes, I have confidence, and that's something they can't take away from me because I know I belong. I am meant to be on this earth, and I know I have a purpose to wherever I am at this point in time. Served to survive, murdered and bribed. And then it got too heavy. I put my burdens aside. Yes, you're like, this shit isn't mine anymore. I'm in the dark. I'm looking through all of this. We have the King of Swords. I'm looking through all this. I'm using my logic and my intuition. Because notice how his crown is lit up. I'm using my logic and intuition to realize, oh, this burden isn't mine. How this person is treating me and putting all this yucky stuff on me, this isn't mine. I've grown past this. I've released these traumas. When it got too heavy, I put my burdens aside. I know this shit isn't mine. I know that I can pray to Most High and put these burdens away because I'm not meant to carry this stuff. I'm not meant to be callous. I'm not meant to be hurt all the time. So I'm gonna pick the world up and I'm gonna drop it on your fucking head. Yeah. Bitch, I'm gonna pick the world up and I'm gonna drop it on your fucking head. Yeah, and you have no, like, it just, like, I could die now, rebirth. Like, you have no problem. You don't have that fear. Do not fear the unknown. You don't have that fear of losing everything because you've done it before. You've already been there. You're like, I had nothing. I came from nothing. I had all odds against me and I still powered through. I kept pushing. I know my resilience. I know that I belong. Even when it's the worst situation ever, I know that there's some meaning in that. And I'm also seeing this King of Swords as this person like finally seeing the truth and using, because they're just in this like turbulent life, whatever's happening because you left, you know, you pulled your energy away, they're seeing the truth and they're like, oh shit. Especially because we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. There's no illusions, no trickery. They're seeing that you weren't being fake, you weren't being socially inept, whatever. That wasn't the truth. What the truth was, what has been exposed, like I'm seeing like the white stag is like a fable, a fake, you know, not real. The truth is that you are real and this does exist. Somebody that has been through hell and back a million times can still have a heart of gold and still have this pure love and energy and be kind to others even when they're being shitty. Even when you knew that this person was being a little tit, you still showed love and compassion. And they're seeing like, oh, so this type of person exists. It's true. And we have the oyster in reverse. So that's like, they didn't see the pearl inside. They just saw this like weird, yucky colored, stinky fish. It's not a fish, mussel. I don't know what the fuck it's called. Bottom feeder. That's what they thought you were. Cause like they were so arrogant in their, oh, like I know the best way to live. And we all fucking think that. We've all been there. We've all acted out of our ego. Like my way is the highway. Like my way is the best way. And so, you know, they just thought like, oh, you're just some bottom feeder. Like they didn't see the pearl, like I said earlier, like they didn't see like all the moving parts of your high performance machine. They didn't see all the they didn't see the wisdom within you. They didn't see that you've transmuted, you know, something that's irritated you in the past. Cause like, you know, the sand irritates the oyster and then it turns it into a pearl, something beautiful, something expensive. You know, they didn't see that you turned all these yucky, awful, traumatic things that happened to you into something, I can't think of the word, like worthy, expensive, elegant. Damn, I cannot, that is driving me crazy. What is that word? Oh my God, I cannot. Oh, what is it? I'm gonna look it up because that's driving me crazy. Worthy, expensive. Somebody's gonna be like watching this and they're like, come on, Mel. Like, they're like, you're screaming the word at the screen. Let's see what comes up. Oh my God, I'm so sorry guys. I'm just like not gonna be able to like move on from this until valuable. That's the damn word. You turned this irritating thing. Oh God, such a relief. Oh. Sorry. All right, so like you turn this irritating thing, this awful thing that happened to you into something valuable, something worthy, something, I'm gonna read them all: costly, extravagant, fancy, lavish, upscale, whatever. You turned it into something worthy, valuable. And, you know, this person is in that turtle energy of like, you know, keeping their hard shell on all the time. And if things get tough or, you know, whatever, they just withdraw and they don't face. So there's like good energy of a turtle, obviously, but I'm seeing this as like them just in that energy of like withdrawing and not facing, you know, and staying stagnant. Cause you know, when they pull their little legs in and their little neck in to like stay protected under their hard calloused exterior, you know, to not let those mushy, vulnerable parts out, they stay stagnant. They can't move when they're withdrawing all of their stuff. So that's what's kept them in this like stuck energy, is like them not being able to heal, like not being able to have that courage to come forward and express these vulnerable parts of themselves. And you're definitely in this raccoon energy, because like you can survive in any environment, out in the wild, in the woods, to, you know, the sewers of New York City, like wherever. You can survive anywhere. Yeah, it's gonna suck and you're gonna have to like swallow your pride and your ego to survive, however that looks, you know, because the raccoon is like digging through trash, you know, it's a little bandit. It's, you know, stealing people's dog food and stuff like that. Like, 11:44 on my clock. You know how to I'm seeing that as like, you know, you have no fear in starting a new venture, because a new beginning, because you know you're protected, and you've experienced that firsthand of that true like divine intervention, because you had no fear, and you had like, you literally had no other option than to take a leap of faith because of how hard shit was in your past. And so you can, you know, swallow your pride and go dumpster dive to survive and get through a situation. You can survive in any environment. And they didn't see that. They just thought you were, you know, socially inept, and that you weren't living the best way because their way was the best way. But now they're seeing that this is the truth. This does exist. This fable, this tale, this, you know, fantasy exists. There is people out there like this that has this beautiful, loving heart no matter what. Interesting, I didn't see this. We have the influencer. So this is definitely like their ancestors telling them to be like, that is who you follow. Their path, what they've done, look at them, because that's how you're going to heal yourself. That's how you're going to raise in vibration. That's how your life is going to get better. That's how you're going to bloom and blossom. Follow that. Yeah, and they didn't see that you're the legend with this legend card in reverse. They didn't see that you have, like, it's because you're humble. You don't go toting around like, yeah, I've seen it all. I've survived in the sewer, like, you know, like a fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Like, I've seen it all. Like, I was raised by the rats. You know, and I'm getting that just popped up, is like, you were literally raised, like, maybe you don't talk to any of your family anymore. And like, people don't know that you were like raised by like these just terrible, awful people that had no good intentions for you. And you still popped out like this happy, healthy-ish person, you know, still doing the work. Because, you know, I can't just say like you're perfectly healthy, you're perfectly, you know, and I'm using healthy as like emotionally healed. So I should say that instead. You're not perfectly emotionally healed. You have more healing to do, because that shit never ends. But you came out like somewhat normal compared to what you went through. You were able to overcome that and stay strong in your own self. You know how it said, confidence is a stain they can't wipe off. You're like, dude, you can't even touch me in that way. You can't even affect me in that way, because you don't even know who I was. I was raised by the rats, baby. I was raised by backstabbing, gossiping, just the worst, mean people. Like, what you think you're doing right now, imagine my mom doing that to me times 10. Like, you can't even, I don't even know why you're trying this. Like, so like, you've overcome so much, and they didn't know that. We have cult leader here. So I'm seeing like the influencer and the cult leader, like, I'm seeing the cult leader especially as like, you might have people that, especially now that the timelines that we're shifting into, where we're coming into our communities, the people that are going to help us grow, and like, we're all coming together to rise in vibration. We're all going to collaborate. We're meeting these people because we've like been through like that really big initiation and training period. So you're coming into this and they're seeing, this person or people are seeing that you're like well liked, and they're like in the energy, well, they're like a cult leader, they're just, you know, being fake or whatever. Like, but I'm also seeing with that they get bitch slapped by their spirit team, or yours even, for thinking that, because like they can gossip and say all that nasty stuff about you, but then, excuse me, you pop out doing something like, even like you're not intentionally like trying to prove anything, but you're just popping out doing something even better and greater, and like showing how good of a heart you have, that their thoughts have like no backing to it. Like there's no it's just a mean thought, and then they're forced to face that because you come out just proving even more that you have a golden heart, a pure heart, and that you're honorable and you live by your own code. We have self-care at the bottom of that deck. You take care of yourself, and it's showing. And that's, I'm not saying like, yes, go like go get your hair faded, go get a haircut, go take, you know, do whatever you need to do to take physical care of your body. But when you heal that frequency, your emotions, that trauma, do that shadow work, that yucky stuff, like look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I've been a piece of shit, or I was a cringe beast for that, like, ugh. And then like having to face that and sit in that, but really feel it and then letting it go, that is the best self-care you could do. And that's why you're like glowing and like looking better and doing all this stuff. Like they can't deny that. Just saying. And we have share your thoughts in reverse. So this person may have not liked, like, whether they knew it or not, like they may have subconsciously known that you were like actually intelligent and like had like a lot of depth to you, but they didn't want to see it. So they would keep you from, you know, putting your light out there, expressing yourself, and they, just because they didn't want you to get the attention that they wanted. And because they saw, whether they knew it or not, because it could have been just so subconscious, this behavior, that they were just operating like on, you know, like their demons were running the show. They had no idea what they were doing. And so they were just keeping you from shining and expressing yourself. So maybe that was, you know, something you needed to hear. But I feel like that's the end of the message, babies. I feel like I'm ending it at a weird, like, there was no good closure, like little bow on the present. But I don't know, I feel called that this is just it. 57 on the clock when I saw that. I love you so much. You are doing so well. Just keep transmuting, growing. I am so freaking proud of you. You are such a strong person, and I love you so much, and I thank you so much for being here. Have a great day, babies.